Ever wondered what would happen if the residents of Quahog were subject to the real-life laws of Rhode Island? Well, I can personally tell you that Stewie Griffin's crimes are so evil, he makes Jack the Ripper seem like a model citizen. I'll be ranking the little football-headed infant's crimes from petty misdemeanors to the most heinous offenses you could ever imagine. But you're probably wondering, how can a literal baby ever be charged with any crimes? Well, it's true that Rhode Island's age of criminal responsibility is 18, but as Stewie is a genius and smarter than most adults,
Indeed.
the judge will definitely be trying him as an adult. Let's begin with Stewie's drinking problems. While most people experience alcohol problems in their early 40s, there's multiple Family Guy episodes where Stewie, a 12-month-old baby, gets drunk.
Oh, come on, man. I just had a couple of alcohol beers.
I feel like dancing. Yeah.
Mr. Duckford would like some quackers.
Like, where the hell is this kid's parents? Like with most places on Earth, underage drinking is illegal in Rhode Island. If someone, probably Brian, ratted Stewie out of the cops, he would be forced to do 30 hours of community service and fined $950. Better smash open that piggy bank, little dude. No company would ever hire an infant, so for Stewie to earn money, it makes sense for him to try his hand at poker. Oh, look at him. In his little suit, being evil but adorable. While Stewie's lucky at casino games, he wouldn't be so lucky in the court of law. For gambling as a minor, he could be jailed for up to a whole year and fined $1,000. And Stewie's underage antics don't stop there. Take a look at this.
Look, maybe you should slow down. Why? We're making good time! We're not even on the road. Huh?
Yep, Stewie's also an underage driver. That Todd has places to be and will happily hop in a stolen vehicle if he's got places to be. But what would happen if the cops caught him? Well, the little guy could be facing up to 90 days of imprisonment, and he might also be banned from getting his license until 21. But I don't think anything could stop Stewie from getting to where he needs to be. So yeah, driving as a minor is already a crime in itself, but using your phone behind the wheel is just an even bigger no-no.
Hey, you know what, Rupert? You know what I should do, just like as a goof? I should try to win those Justin Bieber tickets just so I can like tear them up or use them to go to the concert. Oh, it's ringing, Rupert. It's ringing. Oh, I'm too nervous. They're celebrities. You talk to them.
And I bet Stewie would have won those Justin Bieber tickets if it weren't for that dang streetlight. For recklessly driving, Stewie would end up in jail for a year, and he could be given 10 extra years on top of that for stealing Brian's car. But the better question is, why is a dog driving anyway? Is that even legal in Quahog? Anyway, Stewie Stoner might be a more fitting last name than Griffin, and I'm about to show you why. Stewie tries to run away to the UK and spend the rest of his life on the BBC set of his favorite TV show, Jolly Farm Review. Brian chases after him, but the two of them end up on the wrong flight and land in Saudi Arabia. To escape the Middle East, Stewie uses the only skills he has that don't involve inventing or world domination.
And you get a kick out of stroking your... We're too different to love people.
But Stewie, Brian, and Chucky don't get far. Yes, they name the camel, as Chucky dies from exhaustion, leaving the pair lost in the desert and fearing for their lives. But turns out a comfort inn and a hot air balloon have been like right in front of them this whole time. Seriously, how did they miss that? Brian and Stewie reach Europe and tour their way around the continent, humiliating the Pope along the way. When they finally reach Amsterdam, you can probably guess where they headed first.
I think the only reason we die is that...
I know what you're gonna say, and I am so completely...
Wait. Shh. The only reason we die is because we accept it as an inevitability.
They're stoned off their heads. Lois and Peter must be at their wits' end trying to find Stewie. Ha! Nope. As a matter of fact, the couple are actually enjoying a night out at a Kiss concert, blissfully unaware that their baby is missing and on the other side of the Atlantic smoking pot. If those two don't win the Worst Parents of the Year award, I'm suing! Marijuana is legal for adults to possess in the Netherlands. As Stewie's under 18, though, he's guilty of illegal drug possession, and his little football head will get slapped with a fine equivalent to $2,500. He wouldn't get thrown in the Dutch Slammer, though, since weed is only considered a soft drug over there. Your line lying if you're saying that you never flipped out crazy when you were a kid, but you probably didn't do anything this extreme.
Hi, I'd like to return this keyboard.
Was there something wrong with it?
Well, it said it was designed for writers, but when I sat down to work, it just wasn't flowing through me.
Do you have a receipt?
No, can't you just look it up?
Do you have the credit card you used to pay for it?
Well, I actually paid using store credit for another return.
Do you have the original packaging for the item?
No, that's probably with the receipt.
Gee, saw that rage over a massage chair? Stewie clearly dominated that fight to an insane degree, so I think a court of law would consider him solely responsible for the damage to the store. That means that he'll be jailed for 1 year and fined $9,000, triple the amount of damage caused, which I estimated to be around $3K. The episode Mixed Stroke might be one of the most offensive Family Guy episodes ever made, and we're probably going all to hell for laughing at it. And a fun fact alert, it was one of 3 episodes that never got approved by show creator Seth MacFarlane. Stewie bets Brian that he can become the coolest kid at James Woods High.
All right, dog, here we go. Prepare to lose a bet, because I'm about to become the most popular boy in school. Excuse me, pardon me. Are you the cool children?
Yeah, who are you?
My name is Zach Sawyer. I just transferred here from rich, expensive, car-driving, sex-having high school.
Wow, that sounds awesome.
No, it's lame. Everything's lame.
Wow, if he says one more cool thing, he's in.
I wear long-sleeve shirts under short-sleeve shirts under long-sleeve shirts.
Oh my god.
You know, that long blonde hair actually really helps tone down Stewie's weird, distinctive head shape. Now that Zach Sawyer is officially the coolest boy in school, naturally, he goes on a date with the coolest chick in school. And yeah, prepare yourself, this next clip is gonna be super weird.
You enjoy the movie, baby?
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna enjoy this even more.
Excuse me, what? And trust me, the episode gets even worse than that.
Now check this out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I am ready for sex. I drank 8 gallons of water today. This baby's ready to explode.
Is there more underneath, or is that it?
I'm sorry?
Zach, just get the hell out of my car.
That's it? That was sex?
Now that Connie knows Zach has a small duh, he's a literal baby, you frick! She tells everyone at school to humiliate the boy.
What the hell's your problem? Hey, Logan, what's going on? What the hell is going on here?
Nothing, baby.
Well, yes, I have a baby. Well, for your information, I don't want a big I think they're messy.
But creepy Connie does get what's coming to her at the end of the episode.
And I apologize, but before I go, could I maybe have one last kiss?
Well, I guess so.
Look, this girl is making out with a baby, a nude baby.
Hey!
That's right. To hell with you all. I am who I am.
I'd like to know how Connie even became a cool kid anyway. That outfit screams, I'm someone's middle-aged Christian aunt. Even Meg dresses better. Well, the biggest criminal in this episode was obviously Connie for trying to get it on with a fracking baby. Zach, aka Stewie, is guilty of fraud since he lied about his age and identity. Fraudsters in Rhode Island get thrown into the clink for 3 years, but I think Stewie would be down for that since spending time in the big house would reinstate his cool kid status. We should all know by now that Stewie has quite the violent temper, which sometimes leads him to brutally attacking his own family.
Oh, do you want a hug from your big sister?
This is exactly how it happened in the movie. How can you say this isn't like Hitchcock?
Okay.
Victory is mine!
Wow, I should really watch where I'm going.
Beating up your family is domestic assault, and the penalty is 1 year in prison. As Stewie attacked 4 family members, he's going to be spending 4 years in jail. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed. You're telling me Stewie can knock out his own dad with a baseball bat and only get a year in jail? I feel like the maximum sentence for domestic assault definitely needs to be higher. Anything is possible for Stewie Griffin, and that includes controlling the weather. Manipulating the weather, aka geoengineering, was actually one of the first crimes that Stewie committed in the show. Lois forces Stewie to eat all his broccoli, making him develop a vendetta against the wretched green stuff.
Then who the hell do you think you are?
Honey, it's not gonna go away just because you don't like it.
Well then, my goal becomes clear. The broccoli must die.
To make sure he's never again subjected to that vile food, he creates a weather control device that will destroy all of Earth's vegetables.
Fare thee well, broccoli.
A baby on a roof? I don't care how intelligent little Stewie is, this sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Victory is mine. Damn it! Oh!
And I was right. Hey, at least Stewie's massive head broke his fall. Anyway, messing with the weather is a serious type of environmental crime and strictly prohibited by the state of Rhode Island. Stewie will be fined $25,000 and locked away in the Quahog City Jail for 5 years. And I bet there will be broccoli on the prison menu at some point. Now, there's nothing quite like the bond between a boy and his dog. But when that boy is an evil psychopath and the dog is capable of speech,
What the
physical abuse is inevitable.
Hey, Bri?
Yeah?
There's glass in my eye! Oh, son of a... Ah!
And that's not even the worst attack on poor Brian. Check this out.
Getting real tired of you ducking me, man. Yeah, you got money to pay for fake mustaches, huh? Yeah. How much you pay for that fake mustache?
$2.99. Stewie, listen, this is crazy. You got... Oh, my God!
Stewie's abuse of Brian was the most shocking thing for me when I rewatched the show. Like, I always thought Brian and Stewie were supposed to be the best buddies.
Nope.
Apparently not. As if causing grievous bodily harm to Brian wasn't bad enough, Stewie also wreaks havoc on other innocent animals, including new Brian.
Rupert humped him for 2 hours yesterday. He just laid there and took it.
Did he?
Yeah, and now every time you're sleeping with him, he's gonna be thinking of me.
And all of Brian's 9 siblings.
Ah! Oh my God! Oh my God! What did you do?
I killed him, Brian, and he's the lucky one. He went quickly. There were 9 dogs in that litter.
I actually think torturing normal animals is worse than torturing Brian. I mean, at least, hey, he's got the mental capacity to talk and defend himself. Torturing, beating, or killing any animal results in a 2-year prison sentence. And like, come on, Rhode Island, that penalty needs to be way higher than that. So those clips alone should earn baby Stewie 24 years in jail. He'll also be banned from owning any pets in the future, obviously. And it's very likely that animal protection authorities would remove Brian from the Griffin household and place him up for adoption. I wonder who would adopt him. Maybe like Joe and Bonnie or the Clevelands? I don't know. Let's recap for a second, okay? We're only halfway through the video and Stewie has already earned himself 4 decades in prison and he's 12 months old. His days are supposed to be spent drinking milk and trying to eat his own feet, not being a menace to society like this. Anyway, if you thought Stewie torturing Brian and beating up his own mother was bad, just listen to these next crimes. They're downright despicable. We can all agree that Stewie steals the show more so than any other character, but the little guy has also stolen items such as plutonium.
Morning!
Morning.
Morning.
A portal gun.
Where'd you get that?
I borrowed it from Rick and Morty. They borrowed plenty from us.
Lois's jewelry.
This is mine, and this is mine, and that's mine, and this is mine.
The food at McBurgertown. And Meg's heart.
And now I shall continue the prayer. Kalima! Kalima! Kalima!
Hum Nam Shivai, Hum Nam Shivai.
How is Meg still alive after that? Seriously, all the abuse she's endured in the show must have made her immortal. For stealing all that stuff, Stewie could get handed a 5-year prison sentence. That's 1 year for each account of theft. Remember that time Brian and Stewie ran a brothel? Brian and Stewie opened a bed and breakfast, but soon noticed something's a little off with their clientele.
Hi, we're checking out. Just charge my card.
That's weird. That's the 5th couple to check out after only an hour.
Hi, we'd like a room, please.
Wait, I'm sorry. Weren't you just here a moment ago with a different man? Oh, crap.
Seeing this as a golden opportunity to make mountains of cash, Stewie rounds up some local to work for their hotel directly.
Brian? Brian.
What's all this?
This, Brian, is called diversification. You see, if our guests insist on bringing into our B&B, we might as well provide the women too.
What? Stewie, we're not going to become pimps.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. The answer is no, so don't bother flashing a wad of money, because there's no way I'm going to change my answer in the middle of this sentence. Okay, maybe we could try it out and see how it goes.
Stewie and Brian's first day of being pimps has only just begun, and there's already a long line of needy men outside. This was almost going to be their most successful idea ever, but the spoiled it for them.
We just realized we can keep all the money, take your house, and try to do anything about it.
All right, we're just going to step outside and figure out a counter. And they locked us out. What about my loaf of cinnamon raisin bread? It's mine! It's not for the whole house!
Hey, at least give the bread back. Stewie then gets back at the women by reporting the brothel to the cops. I wouldn't eat raisin bread in real life, but that actually looks kind of tasty. Anyway, but what would have happened if Stewie and Brian were outed as the brothel's pimps? Rhode Island is a bit behind the times, so prostitution is still illegal. Sure, Stewie and Brian are that would be so wrong on so many levels. But acting as a pimp can land you in hotter water than... And Stewie could be sentenced to 5 years in prison. Can you imagine what Lois and Peter would think seeing that? Their 12-month-old son getting locked away for the very grown-up crime of operating a brothel. Have you seen that video of Karen calling the cops on someone for selling lemonade? Well, I wish she would have got Stewie's lemonade stand shut down instead.
Hey, you there! Buy this yellow drink. Hey, Prego. Prego. Hey, I'm talking to you, Tubby.
Talk about rude! As verbally abusing people into buying his lemonade hasn't worked, Stewie decides to take on a more physical approach.
So we had to do it the hard way, hmm? $6! Nice looking wife you've got. Maybe I'll look her up while you're in the hospital. Don't forget your lemonade.
Dude, with inflation these days, $6 for a small cup of lemonade seems like a bargain. Am I crazy for thinking that? Battering that guy to a pulp is, well, battery. And the crime could land Stewie in jail for 20 years. I still can't believe beating up a stranger can get Stewie decades in prison, but assaulting a family member gets him only 1 year. He'll also be given a $1,000 fine, and unfortunately for him, I don't think his lemonade stand profits are going to be covering that. Stewie actually does have another go at his lemonade stand in a later episode, and he's actually quite polite on his best behavior. Too bad Chris ruins it for him, though.
That'll be 10 cents. Chris, pour the man his lemonade.
I can't! The lemonade tricked me and got away! Lemons are God's children!
Stewie loves to destroy things, and when he hasn't gotten a high-tech laser at hand, he'll get rid of things the old-fashioned way, with fire. But in the episode Absolutely Bambulous, Stewie's temper went way too far, and he almost ended up himself and his entire family. Stewie wins a medal at the Quahog Preschool Toddler Games, adding yet another award to his wall of glory. Pissed that Stewie keeps bragging about his win, Brian breaks the truth to him about all those prizes that he's won.
You didn't win anything. It's a participant medal. They give them to every kid with a pulse. Like every other medal or award you've ever gotten, it means nothing.
Poor Stewie runs upstairs in tears and is even more heartbroken when he discovers that Brian was right. Every award on his wall of glory is a sham. He takes out his rage in the only way he knows how, engulfing the whole house in flames as a result.
You won't make a fool of me any longer! Oh no!
Looks like everyone got out safely. But oh no, Chris is still inside. Luckily, friendly old Herbert is willing to risk his life to save the young boy's life. So, are they not going to chase after him? Are they just going to let Chris be, you know? Okay, moving on. Setting fire to your parents' house is no different than burning any other building. Stewie will feel the heat of the law and could be sentenced to 20 years in prison for his arson attack. Something that's always confused me about Family Guy is that Stewie's supposed to be a criminal mastermind, but he's never actually managed Lois. While most of Stewie's attempts to put Lois 6 feet under have failed miserably.
Help! Somebody! I'm blacking out!
He did nearly enter for good in the two-part episode Stewie Lois and Lois Stewie. It's Lois's birthday, and Brian gives her 2 tickets for a cruise. She invites Peter, enraging Stewie, who just wanted a little bit of sophistication in his life for once. After Brian laughs at him for every failed attempt to hurt Lois, Stewie vows to sneak aboard the ship and mother once and for all. Meanwhile, Lois's trip of a lifetime is being ruined by Peter acting like Peter.
Peter! Hang on, Lois. Don't ruin it. All right, so we're driving up to get this abortion, and we get to the abortion clinic, and the abortionist has one hand.
Peter, for God...
I'll tell it. So I turn to Lois and I says, you want to get an abortion here? You want to get an abortion with the abortionist having a stump hand? We can't get an abortion here. So we turned around and went home, and 2.5 months later, our daughter Meg was born.
The embarrassment is too much for Lois to bear, so she walks out onto the deck to be alone. Or so she thought.
Hello, Mother.
Stewie? How did you get here?
Oh, there's a very simple answer to that. You drove me here, Lois.
What are you doing with a gun?
Something I should have done a very long time ago.
Lois's body is never found, and she's presumed dead. A whole year passes, and Stewie confesses to Brian that he killed her. He destroys the evidence by dumping the murder weapon and drawings depicting Lois's death in the trash can. Just so happens that Joe recovers the items, and the preschooler handwriting can only point back to one person.
There's no doubt anymore. Peter, wife.
This is fantastic! I'm completely off the hook!
Peter is found guilty at his trial, but just before the judge sentences him to life in prison, someone makes a surprise entrance.
Didn't you hear what I said? Stewie tried to kill me.
Mom, Stewie's just a baby.
No, he's not, Meg. He's evil.
While Lois talks about the merman who saved her in her time working at a fat camp, clever little Stewie escapes. He eventually flees Quahog and breaks into the CIA headquarters, taking control of the global power grid and achieving world domination.
What are you trying to do? Once I locate the proper code sequence, this terminal will allow me to take command of the satellites which control the world's power grid. The entire world will be subject to my whims. Go away, you paperclip! No one likes you!
Open up in there, or we're breaking down the door.
That was the perfect opportunity for an American Dad crossover. Good job, Family Guy. Stan and the rest of the U.S. military are no match for President Stewie, but maybe Lois can put a stop to him.
Go ahead, Lois. Shoot your little baby Stewie.
I can't do it. You're a terrible, evil child, but you're still my baby, and I could never hurt you.
Well, that works out perfectly, because I can hurt you!
Okay, maybe she can't. Peter? What a horrific year it's been for the Griffins. I mean, seriously. It's a really good thing that none of it ever even happened. Turns out everything was just a computer simulation Stewie created to feel what it would be like to kill us. But if we imagine all those events really did happen, Stewie would be getting 20 years for attempting to murder his mother, but I bet it would be totally worth it for him. While a normal baby might snatch a toy car away from another baby, Stewie once stole a real car from a grown adult. At gunpoint, too. The Griffins are having a yard sale, and Brian accidentally sells Stewie's most beloved possession.
Give you $1 for this.
Sold.
Brian, where's Rupert? I just left him here to watch my things.
Uh-oh.
Brian and Stewie begin the search for Rupert. Using DNA from the dollar bill he was sold for, they track down the teddy bear's new owner, Stanford Cordray. The duo hitchhike all the way to Colorado to find the guy, but must get over the mountains to reach Aspen. Luckily, they're able to rent a helicopter after Stewie's stellar performance with Gene Kelly. Stewie looks like he's having a ball. I wish Lois could have sent him to theater school or something. Maybe he wouldn't have turned out to be so angry and evil all the time. Brian and Stewie start flying over the mountains, but they don't get very far. Brian was only like a few inches away from smashing his groin on that rock, dude. Ouch! The pair walk the rest of the way to Aspen and finally track down Stanford, who has gifted Rupert to his son. Instead of just, asking for his teddy back, Stewie decides to give the kids second-degree burns.
You're not really over Rupert, are you?
No.
That's what I thought.
Oh, Crone!
The two of them and Rupert make a break for it, but they can't escape Aspen on foot, which means there's only one thing to do.
Get out of the go! Get out of the go right now, man! Oh, do it! Go do it! Out of the
That guy was taking his sweet time. Like, hello, do you not want to get shot? For carjacking, Stewie could be locked away for 30 years in the Quahog City Jail. Normally, carjackers get 10, but since a gun was involved, the sentence increases. Family Guy is notorious for its wacky, dark humor, but in the episode The Wolf on Wall Street, something happened that even I wasn't expecting from the show. After seeing Stewie's stock market investments pay off,
I was sick of waiting my turn outside the supermarket, so I bought every coin-operated horse in town.
I assume you're on the unicorn?
You know me well, sir.
Brian has a go at investing too, but ends up getting involved with a super shady protein shake company whose secret ingredient is...
They're made of dog meat. Oh my god, look at all those poor, sad dogs!
Who the hell would want to buy a meat protein shake? Anyway, let alone one made of dogs. Money-hungry Brian is willing to betray his own kind and make a quick buck, but karma comes swinging around like a boomerang, and he too gets put on the menu. Luckily, Stewie's gymnastic skills can save Brian and the rest of those dogs.
Music!
Oh no, he knows Gymkata. Everyone run for safety over by those uneven bars.
Bad idea, buddy.
Simone Biles, who? Well, Brian escaped a very painful and undignified death. The same cannot be said for James Cameron. Yes, the guy who made the Titanic. Now that Stewie's investments had made him filthy rich, what better way to spend the money than to head 20,000 feet below the Atlantic to pull James Cameron's pants down? But of course, Family Guy, staying true to its dark humor, makes this stupid prank go wrong in the grossest way possible.
There he is. This is gonna be so great.
Yeah, we can only hope that James Cameron never watches Family Guy. Although Stewie didn't intend for James Cameron to die one of the worst deaths imaginable, he'd still be guilty of manslaughter and could be looking at 30 years in prison. That's almost as old as the Titanic movie itself. Stewie is an impressive little inventor, and his best, or should I say worst invention by far, is the mind control device. I wonder what poor soul will fall victim to this evil contraption.
Take the old boy out for a spin. Eyes open. Voice test. I'm Chris.
I'm Chris.
Eviscerate the proletariat.
Eviscerate the proletariat.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to,
put on the Reds.
Stewie's such a theater geek, I love it. Stewie turns on Chris and makes him complete tasks he's too short to do, and that includes Lois. But just before she is hacked to death with an axe, this happens. Yep, the microwave saved the day by disconnecting the mind control device from Chris's brain. But the episode isn't completely smooth sailing again.
Without people asking me if I made it up. How could Dad do this to me?
Honey, he wasn't doing it to you. He was doing it for you. He knows how much you want to go to Brown.
Well, I'm gonna get in now. I'm a felon.
Now, that's not true. Libel's not a felony. It's a civil matter. Don't worry. Your father will straighten...
Are you serious? So obviously mind control doesn't exist in the real world, so nobody's passed any legislation about it. I would imagine mind control would be treated a bit like assault, so Stewie could be facing 20 years in prison, and the attempted adds another 20 years to his sentence. In all U.S. states, it's illegal for a minor to own and use firearms of any kind. So that means Stewie has a lot of explaining to do. And specifically, he'll need to explain his M16A1, M3 grease gun, Winchester Model 1200 Defender shotgun, micro Uzi, and Para-Ordnance P1445 pistol. Most of the firearms Stewie owns are small. He doesn't really dabble in big boy guns for this very reason.
10 gauge. Man, I've never handled one of these before.
But just for those guns listed, Stewie would get 50 years in prison and a $50,000 fine, $10,000 for each firearm he illegally possesses. Remember that epic crossover episode between Family Guy and The Simpsons? The one where Stewie helped Bart get revenge on his bully, Nelson? Yeah, it was bad. Peter finally manages to piss off everyone in town, triggering an angry mob that forces the family out of Quahog. The Griffins wind up in Springfield and befriend the Simpsons. Stewie hits it off with Bart, who teaches him how to skateboard, but the skateboarding lesson is painfully interrupted by Nelson, literally.
Hey, loser, I copied off your spelling test and got a D.
I say, how long has that boy been treating you like that?
About 24 years.
The fact that Bart was bullied for 24 years shows just how useless the school system in Springfield is. Wanting to please his older, cooler friends, Stewie does what Stewie does best.
That's a clown I painted, so you know I'm truly insane.
Stewie has all those torture devices, but he only really wants to do one silly thing to his victim.
Because you're going to eat my shorts.
Oh my god.
Ew! I wonder if Nelson actually swallowed those shorts. That cannot be good for his digestive system. When it's time for the Griffins to head back to Quahog, Stewie has a little surprise gift for Bart.
You kidnapped him?
I kidnapped all your enemies. Nelson, Jimbo, Principal Skinner, Sideshow Bob, Apu. I know Apu's not your enemy, but I just wanted to say I took Apu.
And that terrified look on Sideshow Bob's face, like, I really wonder how he got kidnapped. I'm scared. Bart is not impressed, since he's not, a psycho, like Stewie is. He lets his enemies go and cuts his new friend off.
Stewie, I don't think we can be friends. You freak me out.
But if we don't keep in touch, I'll myself.
That's what I'm talking about. Later, dude.
Later, dude.
I'm honestly surprised that Stewie didn't get angry and laser zap Bart right then and there, dude. According to Rhode Island law, kidnappers can receive up to 20 years in the slammer, plus a fine of up to $50,000. As Stewie kidnapped 5 people, he could be looking at a 100 years in prison and a staggering $250,000 fine. The thought of a strange man coming down the chimney on Christmas Eve can frighten children, but there's really nothing to worry about. Unless Santa has been replaced by Stewie, in which case you should be very scared. Brian takes Stewie to visit Santa at the mall, but the meeting is ruined when the fat guy gives him the brush off big time.
Wait, what are you doing? Santa? You can't leave now!
Hey, wait, buddy, we've been in line for like 2 hours.
Sorry, I'm done. You want your kid to sit on my lap? Meet me at the bar at Applebee's.
Oh, that sucks. Sorry, Stewie.
That son of a...
Angered by the visit, Stewie vows to Santa Claus and forces Brian to drive him to the North Pole. They reach Santa's workshop, only to find it's not so magical after all.
I started with one family of magic elves, and every year I needed more and more to keep up. Now they're just a sickly race of mutated genetic disasters. At least 60% of them are born blind.
A few moments later.
Santa then collapses, leaving the deliveries up to Stewie and Brian. What could possibly go wrong? The two of them reach their first house of the night, but instead of putting the presents under the tree, something not so jolly happens.
What are you doing in my house?
We're Santa Claus.
Yeah, you're Santa Claus. That's why you broke in through the window. I'm calling the cops.
Hey there, how you doing?
Who are you?
I'm Santa.
You're Santa?
Who are you? Where's Dan? Oh my God!
Mommy!
It's okay. Brian, see if you can find some duct tape.
Oh my God.
All right, that's the last of the blood. Go check on the other kid.
What other kid?
Johnny, the one who's getting the bat.
Stewie, there's only one bedroom up here.
What? Do you have a brother? Well, then who the hell is John? Oh my God, we're in the wrong house.
Great, now that poor little girl will need therapy every time she hears the word Christmas. The whole world wakes up the next morning to no presents, which means Brian and Stewie officially destroyed the holiday. Way to go, guys. 4 crimes took place in the episode Road to the North Pole: trespassing, kidnapping, and double homicide. Stewie's prison sentence for this could be as high as 121 years. Next time, just leave Christmas to Santa, Stewie. We were all expecting Stewie to at least 1 or 2 people, but the baby actually ended up becoming one of the worst serial killers in human history, and he's probably your favorite character at least once.
Just checking in.
Oh, my legs! Now I'm gonna have to spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair.
No, you're not.
All those people is very much a terrible thing to do. There are 3 episodes of Family Guy where I think we see Stewie Griffin at his worst. Halloween on Spooner Street was Family Guy's very first Halloween special. In this iconic scene,
I think we look hot. Totally hot.
Ugly.
overshadowed a diabolically evil act Stewie committed that night.
All right, you undead bastards, time to send you back to hell!
Yep, Stewie just maimed dozens of innocent trick-or-treaters. But the 2 worst acts of terror occurred in the same episode, Mr. and Mrs. Stewie. Stewie meets his match made in hell, a little girl named Penelope, who is just as evil as him.
You there, would you like a piece of candy?
They wreak havoc in Quahog together, committing wicked acts like blowing up Mort. Eventually, they move on to super evil stuff, like annihilating the entire city of Copenhagen.
Roaring, twenting, tidal waving!
That was a 1920s themed tsunami, and nuking Asia and Europe, obliterating millions of people and turning landmarks to dust.
I say, we're on quite a run. The Great Wall of China, bombed the Eiffel Tower, and look at this note I sent off.
Up yours. Love, India.
Let's see what happens.
Brian thinks Penelope is a bad influence and tells Stewie to break up with her. Pissed, Penelope orders Stewie to Brian, and when he refuses, she takes matters into her own little evil, sinister hands.
Step aside.
Penelope, I can't let you do this. I can handle this myself. All right, Stewie, tag in.
Diving at you!
After bruising and stabbing each other for a good few minutes, I was hoping Stewie would finally win the fight, but this happens instead.
Stay away from my dog.
I shall, but just one thing.
What? I'm gonna tell my friends I banged her.
She just tried to your dog, dude. After scratching my head for a good 5 to 10 minutes, I've concluded that Stewie's count is approximately 700,600,052. The maximum life sentence for murder in Rhode Island is 25 years, so if my calculations are correct, Stewie's facing 17,515,1,300 years in prison for his crimes against humanity. At this point, the other 481 years seem pretty insignificant. Anyway, click the video on screen and find out how this sadistic character compares. Thank you for watching.